Attorneys representing the Guam YTK Corporation call it a 10-year saga, and today the battle between the Port Authority of Guam and Guam YTK continued in court. The Port Authority asked the court for a temporary delay on a writ of execution filed by Guam YTK, which is seeking to force payment on a $14 million arbitration award. Here's more. Representing the Port Authority of Guam, attorney Mike Phillips argued for a stay or a temporary delay on a writ of execution filed by the Guam YTK Corporation in late February to force the Port Authority of Guam to pay $14 million of an arbitration award. His argument, while consistent, was simple throughout the 90-minute court hearing. He says if the judge grants the stay, no harm will come to the Guam YTK Corporation, but conversely, if the court does not and the port is forced to pay up, irreparable harm will come to Guam's only commercial port.
This is one of those instances, Your Honor, where more than just the parties to the litigation are concerned. Obviously, because of the services that the commercial port of Guam provides, the entire island of Guam, and to a large extent our neighbors in the region, and even internationally, will be dramatically affected. Everything from payroll to its general operations would be affected in the manner that this is proceeding.
Although Port Authority officials and Phillips have said the $14 million arbitration payout will affect general operations, Attorney Phillips says the real harm of forcing the port to pay the arbitration award through the writ of execution, while they are in the process of appealing a superior court decision, is that there is no turning back once the money is paid. If, for example, the port wins on appeal to the Supreme Court and the arbitration panel's award is overturned, the port would have a hard time being able to collect back the $14 million they had to pay Guam YTK.
Once that happens to the port, you can't reverse it. Once it happens to the people of Guam, you can't reverse it. On the other hand, Your Honor, the injury, or proposed injury, possible injury to YTK would be the delay in the collecting of the amounts of money that they're entitled to under the current situation. It is not a question of whether they'll collect, because there's no more solvent entity, business person, anybody on Guam Private Corporation than the government of Guam.
And Phillips argued that the Guam YTK stands to lose nothing should the matter be taken up to the Supreme Court, but YTK attorneys countered that the port is just actually recycling old arguments that were already addressed in the original court case decision back in September when Judge Sokola ruled in favor of Guam YTK. Genevieve Rapatis, the attorney for Guam YTK, says also the port's arguments for reconsideration have already been addressed by the Guam Supreme Court, and it's becoming a tired act.
The problem here, Your Honor, is I think you can see that the court wants to continue to litigate this case and assert new arguments after its arguments fail, and then assert new arguments after those arguments fail. But this is a decade-long saga that needs to come to an end. And this motion for reconsideration, where he raises no new arguments, really just variations of old arguments, is just another way that the port is trying to delay the ultimate finality and resolution of this case, which is that Guam YTK has prevailed.
Judge Sokola says she will have a decision by tomorrow at the earliest, but no later than Tuesday. And Legislative Oversight Chairman for the Port, Senator Frank Uggan Jr., and the Port General Manager, Joanne Brown, were both present at the court case.